Okay, so this one's gonna be the scribbling technique. Okay, or some people call it scumbling. I'm gonna keep using the pins. So I'm gonna draw it here, and you can see a little bit of my other one, my cross contour. And actually we'll kind of frame it there so you can see a little bit of that one. So with this one, the idea is you're almost like you're doing one continuous line, and you're just searching and searching and searching. It's almost like trying to find the form. You just keep going and going. It's like you do little circles or swirls. There's no real one specific way to do it, but you just keep building things up like that. Okay. And so just like with these other ones, if you draw over it more, it's going to look darker. And if you draw over it less, it's going to look lighter. If you can use thicker lines versus thin lines, it's going to look lighter, versus darker. And then again, with ink, you can't really do the pressure sensitivity. Like if you push down harder with graphite, it looks darker. If you don't push down as hard, it looks lighter. Can't quite do that as easily with ink. You can to some degree, so I'll do a little bit of that. Okay, so I sort of sketched out the, really loose version of the sphere and cast shadow and graphite, and so you can do that as well. But I'm gonna just kind of start jumping in here. And so I've got, what do I have, an 05. And again, I'm just scribbling. And also what I'm gonna try to do with this one, and I try to do it with all of them, as you can tell, I try not to just draw one area completely and then move to the next. I kind of move around. So even though I kind of filled that in pretty heavy, but I know it's going to be dark. I'm gonna kind of stop there and go up to here. Again, there's sort of my mask dark, and I'm going to switch to that thinner pen to do the lighter areas up here. This one, the ink's kind of flowing out a little faster, so it's actually going on darker, but that's okay. All right, so I just kind of, again, fill in the circle. I kind of meant for this to be the mask dark, but the ink was flowing a lot slower on that other one, so I'm going to kind of come back in here and do this. And again, I don't know if I have it quite a perfect circle, probably not. That's okay. All right, so let's see. So I'm kind of there, okay? So just like I had over here, I want to get that core shadow to pop out a little more. I'm gonna have the cast shadow pop out more. And then of course there's like a little occlusion that I'll sort of start putting in now. Okay, so just to get that to kind of pop back in space. I could keep going. All right. I'm going to switch to a different pen. On the ink, it's thin. The ink's coming out really good, but it's kind of thin. And some of my pens are kind of going. I'm going to have to get some different ones here as I'm going. Okay, let's try this 05 again. Even though it doesn't come out that fast, I'm going to keep working with it. Okay. I'm actually pushing down a little bit harder now just to get it to come out. And again, I'm trying to get that, that form. And if you notice on any of these, that core shadow is actually kind of a contour line. It curves with the sphere. So as you're doing these, make sure you're not making that a straight line. This is one of those ones that can take a long time. The stippling's the one that's going to take the longest time, because you have to make tons and tons of little dots, but it looks really good when you're done with the stippling. So this one doesn't quite take as long, but since it's mostly just scribbling, it takes a little bit longer to build it up. Okay. So That's okay. And then I'm going to get a little heavier with the reflected light over here. I'm going to try to push this core shadow darker, especially in the middle. Kind of want it to be a little bit fuzzy as it goes out. I'll come back really quickly and lightly over this to push that a little bit darker. I'm going to pass over that highlight just a bit just so it softens. And so then you could, if you have the brush pen out still, and it can be a little scary doing this, but we'll see how it goes. The worst thing I can do is mess it up. I can come back in with some thicker lines and, again, using my brush pen. I'll scribble my way into here and get this all darker. And that didn't work out too bad. Okay. But again, the idea is that they should all, all 6 of them, I still got to do one more here. The values should match on all of them, even though it's going to be a different style. Like your core shadow should be just as dark in all 6. And then your cast shadow should be the same level of dark in all 6. It's hard to do, especially with, like the graphite doesn't go on quite as dark, but try to do that as best you can. Okay, and so again, this is the scribbling. I just kind of made little swirls and circles and just built it up. And you kind of keep searching and searching until you get, as dark as you need it to be.